So today I would like us to go over something that occurs in what I will call fast speech. So this is a little bit more casual. This occurs when you're speaking maybe with your friends and family. You probably will not hear it quite as much in formal speeches or in meetings. Okay, but just because this occurs in fast speech doesn't mean that people are mumbling um, with no order to their speech. It is something that linguists have studied, and it occurs in a specific situation. So instead of continuing to talk and talk and talk, let me just give you the rule that you can remember easily in your mind. So we call this consonant cluster reduction, but really it's more like a deletion. And it occurs with the T and the D sounds. And what it does is when the T and the D consonant sounds are surrounded by other consonants, sometimes we just go ahead and drop the T and the D. So let me give you an example. Okay, so we all know the word friends. Friends. So if, let's look at that word. The D sound is surrounded by an N and by the S in spelling, but it's really more like a Z, friends, friends. Anyway, whether it's an S or a Z doesn't really matter. It's a consonant. And D also has another consonant on the other side, the N. So in careful speech, we would go ahead and pronounce that consonant cluster. We would say friends, friends, NDZ. But in fast speech, and you've probably heard this, people will just say friends. Friends. And all you can really hear is the N and the Z sound, friends, friends. So if you recall when you were first learning English, you were probably very confused because you thought, what is friends? I never heard that before. Okay, let's keep going. This can actually occur in two different words. So let's take the example, just stop. Okay, that's two separate words. We have that T sound that we're talking about, and it's surrounded by consonants. So in the word just, right, the T is preceded by the S sound. And then in the next word, the T is adjacent to the S in the word stop. So in careful speech, we would say just stop. And if you recall from prior lessons, we actually would say just stop, where we don't fully say just stop. We would say just stop, just stop. Okay, but actually in really fast speech, we would take it one step further and we would say just stop, just stop. Completely remove the T. So it's as if it's spelled J-U-S-S-T-O-P. And as we know, when you have two consonants that are the same back to back, we just say it once. We don't say just stop. We say just stop, just stop. So this just takes practice. Practice in hearing it first of all, and then, the next step is when you actually use it yourself. Okay, here's another one that's a two-word example. We're going to use D. So first we have the word old, okay, ends in a D, and that D is preceded by a consonant, by the consonant L. Next word also begins with a consonant, man. Okay, so you guessed it, right? What do we say instead of old man? We would drop the D and we say old man. Okay, and again, this is casual, fast speech. I wouldn't use it in a formal setting. Okay, let's do another one. We'll do one word. How about the word texts? So that is definitely a consonant cluster. We have the X sound, the T sound, and the S sound. Okay, texts. That's careful speech. It's very difficult even for a native speaker. So again, what are we gonna do? We're gonna drop the T and we're gonna say texts. Texts. Can you text me?